What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Because of Sales podcast episode. This is episode number 44. Might just be me. I think we're getting pretty good at this. Hopefully, you guys are liking what we're putting out for you guys. And if you're not, let us know in the comments so we can make sure you start to like it. But in this episode, we're talking about the phenom that is Giuliano Mastarelli, recent podcast with Jeremy Miner. We talk about young sales professionals that are going out, living in houses with a bunch of other salespeople. How does that rival college? I share a little bit about a software that my friend is building that I think can truly change the game of running traffic to sales teams. The whole premise of what they do is capturing intent while it's the highest. My partner, Jake, asked me a pretty cool question that I wasn't expecting on the intersection between sales and entrepreneurship, and how as a salesperson, you can start to experiment in the realm of entrepreneurship without taking away too much from your sales job. The other day, I was interviewing someone that's a client in the other business that we run, and he presented me an XY axis as it applies to sales jobs. And I break down that concept for you guys. It was actually pretty insightful, I feel. And then we talk about a tweet that basically goes into the role of being on a first name basis, getting on a texting basis as it applies to big deals, small deals, landing sales jobs, and building relationships. So pretty fun episode for you guys. Before we get into it, please go down below and subscribe to the first link in the description. That is our weekly newsletter. It's free. It always will be, always has been. And if you're a salesperson or you manage salespeople and you just want to stay up to date with what is working right now for everybody else, the newsletter's for you. Go down below, subscribe, and now let's get into the pod.
Sales lads, lasses, hello again. We are on 44. Welcome in. Got a ton to talk about today. Excited to watch. Speaking of watch, Giuliano Mastarelli watch. We're probably going to have to do this weekly or bi-weekly because I don't use the word phenom very often. However, in our world, we now have a phenom. Have you heard of him? Have you seen him? We've talked about him, right?
Yeah, unless somebody's just not on social media, maybe they don't know who he is. But yeah, I think most people do at this point.
I'm a 32-year-old man. I'm a married man. I was in the kitchen the other day and I did something. I like put the dishes away fast and I just went. And I'm like, oh no, I'm doing it. He's catching on. He's very charismatic, but I saw him on a pod with Jeremy Miner, which I don't think Jeremy Miner's in the business of wasting his own time. Did you watch this?
I saw clips of it, but I see what he's doing, man. I've seen Jeremy Miner meet with some other like fast growing creators. You know, it's funny. One of my friends was running with me. He was like filming a little video yesterday. And I hit the, as a joke, that's how you know he's got impacts, man.
Man, it's crazy. I didn't watch the actual pod with him, but the clip that I saw, I think it was a sizzle reel. Jeremy Miner was asking him if he has agents under him and just like how that's going. And he shared an insight that I thought was kind of the big deal here. He said he has 5 to 7 young lads like himself living with him, all doing insurance sales. And it made me think about this of like, I think we've talked about this. Sean Puri talked about like, hey, the opportunity of a lifetime, if you're a young kid, especially interested in entrepreneurship, like go live with 7 other dudes, pay $200 a month in rent and be around people that want to do the same thing. The note I put on here is like the new college. And I think this is maybe something that a lot of young kids, especially that want to be entrepreneurs and YouTubers and pay their own bills, like living with the homies making money. I feel like that's the new college.
Dude, in hindsight, I would pick that route many times over because I went to college, but I basically got into sales right after. The degree, yeah, it's cool to check the box, but like, dude, I didn't even walk the stage. Like, I was graduated during COVID. And whenever I have kids, I would also be like, dude, go sell pest control. Like, go knock some doors, go to the middle of nowhere, you know, live for free from whatever company. And yeah, dude, I mean, I've talked about this with somebody on a Because of Sales pod early episode, someone in insurance. And all the guys that make the most money in insurance are not selling it themselves typically. They're really good at marketing because they get people in their downline. I've actually seen people, you know, this Giuliano dude, he's young. I think he just came out of high school, right?
He's 18.
And so people are like trying to like put him on blast because they're like, dude, you know, I've got your public records right here. You've only made 25 grand last month. It's like his 3rd month doing it, but he's already got all these people under him. Like, I mean, I don't have a problem with it as long as he's not saying he's doing stuff that he's not, because he's not out here. I've never seen, he's like, yeah, dude, I made freaking $50,000 this month selling insurance. Whole time it was downline, like not the case. So I vouch for it, dude. And those guys that are like living under him, they're probably, whether it's good invaluable lesson or a bad one. They're like canon events for young men,
There's no downside to this. This is something I would want my son or daughter to do. Simulated entrepreneurship, fairly low stakes if you do it the right way, 100% commission. I mean, we know people within our network that have moved to Austin to be around people like you. And they're doing it and they're finding success. And it's like, yeah, there's the whole surround yourself with the 5 people thing. But there's also kind of like, if you put yourself in an environment, other people that are driven and competitive, you will basically kind of adopt their ethos and you almost put yourself in a spot where it's like, all right, dude, if Giuliano's over there hitting dials at 7:30 a.m., what the heck am I doing with my time? This is good. This is good for young people.
Yeah, it's funny, dude. You mentioned that. I'm in a co-working spot right now. There's a glass wall, hallway, glass wall, and then on the other side is one of those guys that moved down here. I could see him right now. And it's not a requirement, but if you can get in that environment around those people, it's way harder to fail. So
Way harder. I'm also a big believer in like, if you want to be someone or be like someone or simulate what they're doing, like the easiest way is to just walk their walk. It's common in golf. It's like if you want to learn, or even like learning a music or learning an instrument or learning anything, if you just kind of simulate the patterns of what excellence looks like, some of that will start to make its way into your actual practice. I did this with my offer owner that I work for, spent 3 nights with him and watched him work at that speed of like someone that's found success at a really young age, like multi-millions and millions and very, very successful many times over. You start to see how people move, and then you get to actually tell yourself for certain, do you want that? Do I not want that? Do I want a version of that? How can I make that work? And that's important too. It gets rid of the, I want what they have, but you're not willing to do what they do to get it.
it's funny because a lot of times in that scenario too, the answer is so simple. You just don't believe it until you're in the presence of it. It's like, oh, this person just works a lot more than everybody else. Or, oh, this person is genuinely just smarter than most people, which, the perspective is everything. So,
Love it. You put down Kongu. Tell me about this.
yeah. So I don't know if you've met him, but we've got a mutual of the agency and someone in this online space that is coming out with this software. It's out now. It's called Convu, Convuu. And we did put a link to it in our last email. I don't know if you had the chance to check it out, but Convu is basically a software, and I'm not all that tech oriented, but you embed it into your site in some form or fashion. And the idea is that you can talk to leads when the intent is the highest. And so think about a traditional like inbound lead funnel. Maybe it's a paid ad to a landing page. You collect the information, you route it to a Slack channel and tag an appointment setter or something like that. Actually, I guess there's a few different ways you can integrate this. What Convu does in super simple terms is it lets you jump into a Zoom room, not actually Zoom, but like a video call room while they are like on your site, potentially before they book a call. So like if they have questions, think of like text support. That was a huge milestone. You can get answers in real time. But what if you just had the ability to jump into a video call with a sales rep on that team? And some of these teams do like live dials, but in the space that we're in, a lot of it's video, right? And so that's what their software does. And it works really well from what I've seen. And I think that's a game changer, dude, to be able to get people. This is the issue with the online space. A lot of people are running through Meta. Meta is like the number one ad platform, right? The issue with Meta and Instagram and Facebook ads is like, unlike Google, they're kind of served to you at random. Like you're not necessarily searching for this thing. And so as soon as you leave that page, intent goes down. You probably forget. Like when you're selling off Meta, it is almost kind of like an impulsive nature to it. And so if you can just like better capture that demand and get someone competent on a video call while that intent is the highest, I can see this being really big. I know this software is fairly new in terms of it being live, but I know that they've already signed up a lot of different types of companies, and I'm excited to see where it goes because it's just completely new. Like nobody's done it before,
Is this more B2C, more B2B?
Both. It's definitely going to be more oriented to like faster sales cycle. I don't want to call it like impulse buys, but like faster purchases.
This is interesting. We, in our offer, for those that don't know, I work for basically a fitness company. We have supplements, we have coaching programs, we have coach to coaches programs, consulting, everything. If you're an online fitness coach, we're basically your entire one-stop shop for anything. And we noticed that our lander was getting a ton of traffic because I think we're on day 74 of launching our YouTube, already above 6K subs, I think. if not approaching. Multiple videos over 25K views. So now we're starting to get served on Google, and we're now starting to get served in like the LLMs. So we're getting a ton of traffic through our website. We're like, how do we capture this? We started putting in live chat support, talk to a real person right now. And now we're actually hiring a setter to handle that channel because we're getting 2 to 3 inquiries a day right now. There's a world where we could get 10 a day. That's 70 high intent leads. So we've already booked calls from this. If we had something like this where we could have an actual person, our setter's already behind a computer, they work from home, they're 1099, there would be no friction on hopping on a call and say, hey, my closer, or, we call them onboarding specialist. Our onboarding specialist is available right now. You want to chat with them? Like, I could see this working in our world very, very nicely.
Well, I agree. Look at this. I should have had this pulled up before. You guys can see this.
Yeah.
So this is their site, but see this little widget here. Talk with the founder, connect in under 30 seconds, start video call. They're a small company, so they can do that. But like, dude, they have a whole VSL, $59 a month. Like you make one sale, it's worth it, right? Get one more person in the pipeline.
Are they using their own product right there? Like, is that their product?
Mhm.
Okay. There needs to be one word like this. You know how like the Germans and the Swedes have one word for a concept? I want the one word for a company that uses the product to sell their product. Like Kombu's using the Kombu window to sell Kombu.
Yeah, that's the best. Like, you're familiar with SendBlue?
Yes.
Or there's a few of them now, but yeah, I mean, perfect example. Yeah, that's a fun company to run.
Comment down below. What's the one word we can use for that experience? Maybe it's Kombu. I don't know. Let us know. Very cool. It reminds me of like TikTok shop for B2B software, almost like just that live interaction where it's like people are tired of going through this 5-step funnel reminders. And like, it would be ridiculous probably to say that people aren't fatigued by that process in some way, shape, or form, especially in worlds where they have to go through that to get to a discovery call. Like any sort of B2B software that hides pricing, it's just like everyone pulls their teeth out.
Yeah. That's one of my biggest gripes with softwares and plans and usage, dude. Like, I just want to know if I have a list of to-do items, I don't want one of those things to be partially crossed out because I'm waiting for a call to find out how I can get the basic plan for, like, dude, even if it's more expensive than I think, the odds of me buying it are higher if you just tell me upfront, because I don't waste time talking to someone that's gonna, like, maybe they don't even know what they're talking about, right? So I like how they have the pricing like right on the site as well. Also, little plug, we do have a link that'll get you guys a discount on that. We'll put it down in the description. All right, guys, quick break in the pod for our sponsor, which is the Serial Sales Community. In this episode, you'll hear me talk about a gentleman named Chris. I actually don't know if I name dropped him, but Chris is the one that gave me the idea for the sales job X and Y axis. I filmed an interview with Chris after he did a $30,000 a month in his 5th month in the 1099 remote sales space with no prior sales background. That's what we help people do with the Serial Sales Community. Okay. If you have a sales skill or maybe none at all, we help people break into remote jobs, inbound leads, 1099, not licensing, no pyramid scheme, no MLM, selling for online based businesses that sell expensive products or services. That is coaching, consulting, agency services, B2B services, masterminds, bootcamp softwares, things of that nature. If you're interested in putting your skill to use in a remote contracted manner, play the contracted 1099 game, play the tax benefits, go down below to the second link in the description, check out the page. And if you do want to look into this some more, book a call with our team, mention Because of Sales, will give you 5% off any package you choose. Now back to the pod.
I dig it. Love it. Kombu. Interesting. The next topic here I have is deep dive into Dylan Brain. And you don't know I'm going to ask this question. And it's not a personal question at all, but I really admire working with you, having worked for you, your ability to take your time thinking clearly and then identify when you want to take action. There's many ways to find success. One of the ways is to just take action on everything and hope it works out. I know people that thrive in that environment. My take on your style is that you're very intentional. Take your time, you're patient, and then decisions that you make tend to have a higher hit rate because of your style. And my question for you, for our listeners, is like almost every seller out there has some DNA of entrepreneurship. How would you advise them to start to spot opportunities to do their own thing?
So this is what I saw when I got my first sales job in roofing. I was selling the roofs and I was so connected to other departments of the company, the marketing, the project management. I started to see, like, because I was also estimating, I was making the pricing, right? I started to see like where the margin is allocated, where the margin exists, where it's allocated, and the types of people that they would have in these positions and how much they would pay them. And Sales job is the best entrepreneurship internship. It's a high paid internship to learn how to do a very valuable thing for any business, right? But if you can identify little micro pain points that are quite easy to solve that most people don't naturally solve on their own for one reason or another, like if you're in a roofing company that's experiencing that pain point, the chances are there's others that are too. Maybe they're in the same ballpark in terms of revenue, company size, whatever. But I just think of like, how do I find like a micro problem or two or three and bundle that up in a way where the result of having that all fixed is well worth what it would make sense for me to charge? Meaning, I take my time away from sales job, put it towards this. It has to make sense. And the reason why I mentioned being close to these departments is because, like, dude, if you're in sales, you're getting a really good pulse for what's working and what's not. I mean, in your own job, what does your manager get mad at you about? Is it because you forget to do this in the CRM? Is it because you forget to do this with your project notes or whatever? And if you're having that problem, other people are too. That is like the best way. I think one of the worst things you can do, and it's not always bad, but typically it's like if I'm in roofing sales, the worst thing I can do is go start a t-shirt drop shipping business. This internship is for the wrong career field, right? So yeah, dude, I think just like if I can get validation that a pain point that I have is a pain point that other people have, and I already have the momentum in this one thing, I mean, the next logical step is to help other people solve that problem. And nobody knows that problem better than you who's experiencing it, you know?
I love that. Yeah, I've never asked you for that was for me, by the way. So everyone just listening on me wanting to know. I think the key insight there that I take away is you're totally right, is that there are always people that are going to preach to you a good business idea. There's plenty of good business ideas out there. I think I probably made this mistake of like, hey, cheapest business ideas to start, low overhead, highest success rate. And that's kind of the dropshipping business, right? If you're a SaaS seller and you want to go start a dropshipping business, like you could, but if the goal is to move on to something of your own thing, start to build something that you ownership, like you've built Runway with a sales role, you have that skill. How do you pivot that into a higher leverage vehicle? I like that. And then the other thing you said too was like break it into its pieces, like break the Lego structure, find the ones that kind of have connected dots, and then micro bundle those together. That's really good.
There's something too that I think you've done this well, man, is like having a certain problem within a job that you do, maybe that intersects in some way with something else that you do. It could be complementary, it could be completely different. Something that's complementary. So, like, example, sales, copywriting, right? And if you can find an intersection that overlaps on two good sized markets, that's another like really good way to go about it as well. Example, like with our business, we help people land the remote sales jobs. There's a lot of people that help people do remote sales jobs. They do sales trainings, whatever. One reason why a lot of people work with us is because of our, like, sure, we have some people that make a lot of money and only want to make a lot of money, but a lot of people work with us because we come at it with like a very realistic approach. We don't promise the moon and the stars. And people are like in a not like flashy guru way. It's like, I want to do this for the lifestyle. Like I want to do what I want when I want. And if we can help them solve the lifestyle piece and the money piece at that intersection, that's why a lot of people work with us. So micro problems, if you can bundle it up with something that like expands the market, but then also gives you like a niche positioning. A lot of people say doing something that's never been done is like extremely risky. But if you can do something in a segment that's already being served, but do it in a different way, I think that's a good approach.
Definitely. Yeah. And then one more thing, I'll move on. Like for you, the thing I appreciate about your business is that you've totally gone the route of sales training won't move the needle. It will help, but what moves the needle is good opportunities. And as a result of good opportunities, can probably solve the sales training piece anyways, just by being active and taking live reps. That's why you're successful, man.
Let me get one last one in here. Let's compare that to the role you got, dude, because it's not just a sales job, right? You're doing writing, you're doing marketing, you're doing ops, management, like all those unique skills got you in the position to be offered a role that they were going to forget about if you said no to, you know?
Yeah. It was a P&L. They were going to totally, whatever. And now we have a healthy P&L and it's a good business unit. And by the way, it's like now an ascension model for us. And there's a ton of other things that are coming from this. We're thinking of software ideas and one-off offers. And yeah, it's exactly right. So sales guys, unbundle and bundle back up together. Get out there. What is this here? The XY axis.
Yeah. I recently, yesterday, dropped an interview with, I don't know if you saw me post about it, our guy, Chris, in the community business we run. And in that interview, he was breaking down like entering into a sales job market. You know, the one we work in is different, but like this could really go into any industry. And so when you're first getting into your sales job, it's kind of unspoken. but I think it's valid in a lot of different types of roles, that landing a job where you can make a lot of money, but it might be short lived, but it might be low integrity is not all that hard. On the flip side of that, landing a job where you have high integrity, high longevity, but you don't make that money or that much money, I'm sorry, is also not that hard. What is hard from the beginning and what a lot of people go for and get frustrated when they don't hit is landing a job that has all of those, which is high longevity, morals and ethics, and high earning potential. And usually in the beginning, unless you want to sit and wait or you just are supremely connected, you have to compromise on something to become the person that is considered for the trifecta of make a lot for a long time and feel good about it. So he broke that up in the interview and I was like, you know what? I've never had that put into perspective like that for me. I appreciate that a lot. And, message for the newer guys that are listening, or maybe you're like a few years in, there are so many sales jobs out there where you can feel like you're changing people's lives, sleep well at night, and make more money than you'd ever believe. And if you're not there yet, if you're in sales now, you're getting closer, but just know that those jobs, like it's pretty rare to get that like right out the gate, you know? So I assume that hopefully makes a little sense. Like that's not a hot take, is it?
No, I totally feel that way. I'm looking back on my career and I'm thinking about that kind of axis and those attributes, and it's spot on. And you are closer if you're out there. You're closer than you think to that type of role, but don't make the mistake I made, which is probably getting unfocused and not sticking with something a little longer. Very thankful for my career and where I'm at right now, but I probably could have gotten there faster had I just realized what you just said and took it to heart of like, this is the opportunity for now. I'm in the right direction. Stay with it.
I think selling anything like low integrity products, man, you could potentially further your career, but in the event that anything backfires, it's going to set you back. So I would definitely lean towards making less in the beginning, but selling something that's genuinely good, getting that on the resume. And then it might take a little bit longer, but you'll sleep better at night.
Definitely. All right, what is this one? Texting and its significance.
Yeah. So I saw a tweet by Jen Abel.
Is this an anonymous? No, no, co-founder.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. She does a lot. I actually don't really know who she is, but Jen Abel on Twitter. She wrote, enterprise sales is all about inside baseball. It seldom happens without someone giving you off the record intelligence others don't have. For example, this is why if you're not on text, the relationship isn't there. So the reason I wanted to list this one out is because this is now, I don't know what number time I've seen people say enterprise sales is on text. If you're basically not texting, you're not where you think you are. But I wanted to overlay this concept of like being on a text basis or being on a like personal cell, like first name, fast kind of cadence basis. I wanted to apply that to breaking into maybe the high earning, high longevity, high trust kind of job. Because I mean, example, the role that you got into, or the guy, Chris, that told me about the X and Y axis. Those things happen because right person, right place, right time. They know you enough to like you, to trust you, to offer you something that has some money behind it. And if you're going just like everybody else, cold application, LinkedIn, you are truly rolling a ball up a hill. Like there is some time component you can't really speed up, but anytime you can go out of your way to go in person, shake hands, have a dinner with someone, a coffee with someone, something like that, if you're in the stage of progressing your career, it's very important that you do that and you connect with them on social media, connect with them through text and send them stuff, tell them happy birthday. I don't know if I talked about this. Actually, I don't think I talked about this on the podcast. It was in our community. So I started doing this thing where if somebody goes out of their way to help me for free or paid, or they go above and beyond. I've done this with like a producer of a podcast. I've done it with someone who's helping with like some marketing stuff, friends that didn't need to take time without any question. I always just like, I'll send them a Starbucks gift card through email after. I take their email and I just like right after the meeting, takes 2 minutes, they get it and they're like, oh, sweet, dude. Like, and so next time, a couple times they go to Starbucks, they're just like, they're thinking about me, right? And so just little stuff like that. Another one is telling people happy birthday. Crazy concept. But if you met someone like once or twice and they repost on their Instagram story, it's their birthday, it is pretty interesting thing to think about. But if you post something about your birthday and let's say on average you get a few hundred people that see what you post, everyone that sees that and does not say happy birthday is making the choice to not say happy birthday. That's what most people are going to do, right? But if you can be the person, especially if you just are meeting someone, trying to build a relationship, you can be the happy birthday guy. You can be the Starbucks gift card guy. Doesn't really take too much skin off your back. It helps a lot.
Yeah. For the young bucks out there too, I'm the hope you're well guy. Hey, hope you're well. I just scrolled back while you were chatting. I scrolled back to my personal text conversation with the guy that I'm working with. And he sent me a picture April 3rd. Never heard back from him. Or I never responded. That's on me. October 15th. Hey, dude, thinking about you. Hope you're well. He didn't respond back to me. 41 days later, Jake, what the heck is up? How are you? I have an opportunity to chat with you about that is right down your alley. Really want to chat with you about it. And that's how it turned into this.
Just ghosted each other and then
Ghosted each other. And I have other IG. I would respond to his IG stories every once in a while. I wasn't huge on IG until, 2 weeks ago. And I'm still not, but I'm active on there and just, hey, hope you're well. And it's just turned into stuff, man. It's just truly texting.
do you follow any of Jesse Itzler's stuff?
I love Jesse Itzer. Yes.
Yeah, I heard him on a podcast recently. Whose podcast was it? I think it was with that higher up wellness guy, big on Instagram. But yeah, dude, I mean, he does this thing where he sends handwritten notes. He sends like 500 a year or something. But then he also was saying how he'll, like, if he has a friend that's into snowboarding and he finds a cool snowboard video, he's like, hey, dude, just send a link to a video. I saw this and I thought of you. Check this out. And like, dude, even if the person doesn't watch the video, it's just the thought that like you are top of mind. That's why I love using gifts as an example. Like someone's birthday, they're having like this big thing. There's a lot of people. They're not really expecting anything, but like I'm the guy who, brought a nice bottle of wine to gift. Didn't have to. Maybe they don't even open it. They're too busy talking to everyone, whatever. But when the party's over, they see that bottle of wine with a nice little sweater around it. Hey, he took the time out of his day to go and do this. And just you won't always have the opportunity to do that when searching for a sales role, so to speak. But like it is important with people, sales roles, clients, friends. And it's not even about the monetary value. Like honestly, the best gifts are the ones that are the most thoughtful. I actually got a gift today because we have some people in town. I'm hosting the Airbnb and one of the guys got me a hat. I'm a big hat guy, right? He's from Canada. So he got me a Edmonton Oilers like hockey hat. I don't watch hockey, but I like the gift because it's like a unique thing. He knows I like hats. It's from his hometown. There's a story, right? So like those are the best ones, honestly.
He says he's not a hockey guy. Are you wearing a New York Rangers hat right now?
Yeah, I am. So this is a different thing. This is a funny thing. I went home, I showed my fiance the hat. And the reason I have this is because she's from New York. We've gone to a Rangers game. Dude, I'm born and raised in Texas. Like we don't really watch too much hockey down here. We're South Texas. But anyways, I come home with this hat and she's like, I don't like that hat. She's a lifelong Rangers fan. I was like, yeah, but he's like from here. And he said that they're like the best in the league right now. They got the best player. Anyways, that literally happened like an hour ago. But it's just a thought, dude. It's a pretty bright colored hat. I don't know how many times I'm going to wear it, but yeah, dude, I mean, it's cool. And I'll remember that forever, right? I don't even watch hockey, but who knows what that turns into, right?
It matters. Yeah. If all of you out there want one more actionable thing to take away from this too, I looked up when you said Jesse Itzer, I kind of knew where you were going with this. And he specifically has a framework I'm a huge fan of and have started applying when I heard about this about a year ago. It's the 3 C's: compliment, congratulate, and console. So when you're thinking about what to bring up or what to send to someone or how to follow up with them and keep this thing active, right? Texting, enterprise deals happen in text. It's like choose one of those 3s: compliment, congratulate, and console. And if you make that a habit, man, if Jesse Itzer's doing it, you can do it too. So simple.
Yeah, Jesse Itzler is like sold that jet business, but like if you've heard the story about him getting his first clients, like dude, he's master networker, man.
Yeah. All of his stories also start off with like, I was hanging out with Alex Rodriguez. It's like, well, yeah, for sure. You don't have connections with Alex Rodriguez, but how do you think Jesse Itzler, what did he tangibly do to get connected with Alex Rodriguez? Probably the same stuff he's preaching about, the 3 C's and writing handwritten notes. Like success leaves clues there.
Yeah, we did that too, man, with our community business. There's a lot of people who do things similar. A lot of them are not very personable, man. It's like you don't really get to meet the people that run it. You're kind of just a number or whatever. For a long time, the reason I stopped is because I ran out of notes, but I had a notepad that had my name printed at the top and I'd write handwritten letters to every person that joined, put it with our custom branded Yeti stickers, all this stuff to like make this a real experience. And I need to start doing that again because like the handwritten stuff doesn't even have to say anything crazy, dude. Just like if it has their name and it has your name, especially as a founder of a company they just paid to work with us, goes a long way. But the Starbucks gift card is like the tip of the iceberg, right? It's so easy. If you have their email, put it into the Starbucks gift card thing, sends instantly. 2 minutes after your meeting, they're like, oh shit, like what a nice surprise, right?
Yep.
I think that's it for this one.
Yeah. We can wrap here. Go text some people, folks.
Yeah. Write on some paper, send it to them.
That's the pod.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, guys, that was the podcast with Jake and I. Another week down. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these. If you have any recommendations for anything you'd like to hear or see on the next ones, always leave a comment down below or send us an email, dylan@becauseofsales.com. You can send anything. And that's pretty much it. You guys, thanks for tuning in. Again, if you do want to subscribe to our newsletter down below, first link, that would be much appreciated. That is the main part of this business. So if you really, really, really like the podcast and you want more of us, more of what's going on in the world of sales, go down, subscribe, first link in the description. It's free. We'd love to have you. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.